Heavyweight Dillian Whyte says that Anthony Joshua went home and cried after his fans booed him. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We work it. Big up to the channel members. Now, I had to make this video. I felt it was interesting. Dillian Whyte did an interview with IFLTV. Link is in the description. And he has some interesting things to say. He talked about Joshua being booed after in his post-fight interview when Joshua was on the turnbuckle or whatever. And he just had knocked out Derek Chisora. He says, and I quote, "The Golden Goose got angry because fans booed him." He's like, "Why are my fans booing me? I'm a legend. Why are they booing me?" He went home and cried. So that's what he believes happened. In addition to that, in this interview, he says he has had no contact with Eddie Hearns in regards to a possible April 13th rematch with Anthony Joshua that he's been very vocal about wanting. And he also says that he believes that Anthony Joshua will instead travel out to America and fight Jarrell Big Baby Miller in Madison Square Garden. So I want to kind of talk about this. Obviously, nothing's set in stone. We have to see how it all plays out. But in my opinion, that's going to be a bad look for Anthony Joshua, because it's going to look like he, wants no smoke with the dangerous guys. Now, I've said on my channel that I prefer Dillian Whyte. I like Dillian Whyte. I preferred him to fight a guy like a Luis King Kong Ortiz in December if they were going to try to push for the Joshua April 13th fight. I think that's a more stern test as opposed to a guy he beat 2 years ago, etc. So that's what I wanted to see, but he looked good in the Derek Chisora fight. I thought he lost the first Chisora fight, but to come back and knock him out in the fashion that he did, that was a good look. He put the grudge to sleep, literally, and put the issues to bed. Like I said, I thought Chisora beat him in the first fight, but he came and punctuated it in the rematch. So 2018, Joshua could have fought against Deontay Wilder, and he didn't. He fought Parker, and then he fought his mandatory, Alexander Povetkin. And everyone knows how the Wilder Fury fight came apart, like how it came about because of Joshua. Basically, Wilder Fury came about because Joshua and Wilder fell apart. And we know why it fell apart. And then a lot, like the biggest indicating flags were that AJ would face Dillian Whyte in a rematch, right? And I told you I wasn't really fond of that unless he was gonna go through like a Luis Ortiz or something. But that was what it was. But now that Dillian Whyte has had this knockout and definitely looks dangerous to AJ because he hurt AJ in the first fight, now they're talking about fighting Jarrell Miller and not even fighting the guy that he was long rumored to fight. Per Dillian Whyte, again, he said he had no contact with AJ about a April 13th fight with Eddie Hearn. He's going to meet with Eddie Hearn in mid-January, but he thinks that Jarrell Miller got the golden ticket to AJ. Again, to me, that's going to be a bad look if he fights Jarrell Miller, because if you're picking between Jarrell Miller, not to say that's a bad fight, because I don't think it's a bad fight, but we have to look at, recent history. And I think Dillian Whyte's 2018 was, more impressive names than Jarrell Miller. Despite whatever inherent danger they present, I think Jarrell Miller is, he's still on the come up. But Dillian Whyte has probably, if we're going off of them two only and like excluding Wilder, Fury, Luis Ortiz, I would say Dillian Whyte has earned a rematch more than Jarrell Miller, because you look at AJ, when it came to Wilder, he was heavily trying to A-side Wilder and turned down 50 mil and said, I'm the A-side, this, that, and the third. So how does Jarrell Miller get the fight over even a Dillian Whyte who beat, Lucas Brown, a former champion, with the big punch, beat a former champion, Joseph Parker, right? And he knocked him down twice in that fight. And then he knocked out his grudge match rival, Derek Chisora, in one of the knockouts of the year. You can't really take that from Dillian Whyte over Jarrell Miller. As opposed to Jarrell Miller, he's doing his thing, but he fought retired Thomas Adamak, who's like 40 years old, 40 plus. Johan Duhaupas, Marish Weck, Dog Bandinu, guy I never really heard of. This is who Eddie Hearns has been feeding Jarrell Miller, but he's been putting Dillian Whyte at least in the bigger fights and the bigger name fights. So, if AJ doesn't pick Dillian Whyte even, and he opts to fight in America, I just don't know how it's going to play out. And there's just other deeper questions like, how come you weren't willing to fight against Wilder for $50 million in America, and you said you had to do it for the UK, but now all of a sudden you're up for it and you want to fight in America for less money than $50 million? Because we know if he fights Jarrell Miller, he's not getting $50 million. We'll have to wait for more to develop. Let me know what you guys think. But Dillian Whyte says he heard that Joshua's going to fight Jarrell Miller. We'll see how it plays out. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.